spit out green mist like Tajiri. It broke on him and he ended up all over him. I feel bad for the guy. He's new-ish. He's gonna make mistakes, and there were some botched moments in the card. It's not a big deal. They weren't even that noticeable. Um, these guys are young. They're fresh out of school. Some of them mistakes are gonna happen. Um, and the great Nuka, I believe, I want to say, picked up the victory in this one. Um, and I forgot actually, back from intermission, the liaison to the general manager, Tino Cesar, came out and asked Scotty Arrow to come back to the ring, and told him, the general manager wasn't happy that he walked out on the triple threat match with Dante and Brute. So he was going to be in a match, and they introduced his opponent as the Tyrannosaurus Flex, Ezekiel James. And Ezekiel James would pick up the victory. Scotty Arrow has this natural heel ability, and I'm kind of excited to see what they do with him going forward. And then we saw the Honorable Jamar Justice, great heel mic talent, put out an open challenge, and we got someone from the crowd came out, and I think they introduced him as Come On Down, Price Right. He had this car salesman gimmick. That if you saw it on TV, you'd probably go, ugh, what kind of gimmick is this? But he made it work. It was kind of funny. He threw out lines throughout the match that were kind of funny. So, and I believe Jamar Justice was victorious in this match. The next match featured Sergeant Fury, who was on our show the very first night, taking on High Voltage Omar. These guys were friends in wrestling. High Voltage Omar came out as the heel, and Sergeant Fury was the babyface, which was kind of shocking since Sergeant Fury has been such a good heel in the Dynasty, which is what Central New York has been seeing lately. They put on a decent match. Omar is an excellent heel. Excuse me, I couldn't even spit that out. So it was a good match between the two, and Omar picked up the victory. The main event featured Killer Instinct, who fans are familiar with from 2CW, and their opponents, the Nachi Mafia and Mr. Must-See Tyler Vincent. And the faces went over, so Tyler and the Nachi Mafia won the match. Killer Instinct is just impressive to watch. You can tell they are very passionate about their craft, and they take it very seriously, and they're just a joy to watch. And Tyler Vincent, he's main event. He is just the main event. There's nothing about him that screams mid-card. And hopefully when there is a championship tournament of whatever kind, he's a part of that. So I just wanna throw it out there. I think New York Championship Wrestling put on a great first show. I was kind of expecting to see a little bit more of a hook for the next card. I mean, they did it in the first match with the challenge from the Savage Wolves and Guy and Danny. But nothing else in the card really got you hooked for their next show. So, maybe that'll change in the future. And I know it's hard in independent wrestling because you don't know what wrestlers are going to be available for the next card. But I think they put on a great show. I really enjoyed it, and looking forward to next month's tag title turmoil where they'll crown their inaugural tag team champions. So yeah, it was a busy weekend in the world of wrestling in Syracuse and the Central New York area. We were sad to hear that the group up in Potsdam, Atlantic Championship Wrestling, had to cancel their inaugural show, which was also scheduled for this past Saturday, the 13th. The promoter's child was undergoing some illness, so they had to take care of that, and that's absolutely understandable. Family comes first. They are going to reschedule, so hopefully we'll hear more about that in the future. Also, some news: the Institute of Professional Wrestling has moved. I believe they're opening sometime late last week or this week in their new location, and that's at 160 Dwight Park Circle in Syracuse. I believe that's not too far from the fairgrounds. So all those students out there that do go to Institute, I'm sure you guys know that already. But any new and prospective students, you can look them up on Facebook. It's Institute of Professional Wrestling. And they do a good thing. And I believe Zachary Springate the third and Killer Instinct are part of the training staff there. So I might be wrong on that. So if someone wants to correct me, feel free to drop me an email. Coming up this Sunday, Wild Zero is presenting their second show at the Pastime Athletic Club in Syracuse. I believe it's a start time of 5 p.m. Front row tickets are $25. General admission is $20. I unfortunately cannot attend this event. I really wanted to check it out. Even though I'm kind of scared of the Pastime Athletic Club, it seems like it's a rough building to be in. But maybe they've improved it. I don't know. But hopefully I'll get to check out their next show. I'm hoping to have some of the Wild Zero guys on this week on the podcast, and we'll get a preview out for them as well. Which brings me tonight to our guest tonight, PJ the Whip Gonzalez. She is a Dynasty Diamond Division women's wrestler. Back at the Dynasty event table for two a couple weeks ago in Whitesboro, she attacked Dynasty Diamonds champion Christina Marie in a shocking move. She once was a good babyface. Now she turned heel. She was kind of impressive that night. She came down cracking a whip and beat the crap out of Christina Marie and choked her out with the whip. She's very impressive, and the more I found out about her, the more intriguing I find her to be. She is actually transgender, a male to female transgender person. So she started wrestling as a man, as Pedro Gonzalez, and now she wrestles as a woman, PJ the Whip Gonzalez. And in October being LGBT History Month, I find this very fitting that we have a transgender wrestler on our show tonight. I'm very proud of this interview, very proud of her. She's very brave for coming out as transgender, especially in a world that is not very accepting of transgender people at the moment. So right now we're going to bring in our guest for tonight, and that is PJ the Whip Gonzalez. PJ Gonzalez, thank you for joining us on the show. How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. A little bit tired because I was working on my day job, but I'm doing fine.
So you started this month out with a bang at the Dynasty Table for Two event. You attacked Dynasty Diamonds champion Christina Marie. What led up to that attack? Why did you attack her that night?
She interfered in one of my matches in one of the previous shows, so I wasn't happy about that. And then she won the title, and I want a little bit of that gold too, so I decided to attack her because of that. I want that gold around my waist.
Did you compete in the Diamonds tournament at the Diamonds Are Forever event?
Yes. It wasn't pretty much a tournament. There were some matches that led into the show. I did compete in a qualifying match, but unfortunately, I didn't move to the next round. But somehow Christina did, and she got the title. Meanwhile, I had to just wrestle in one of the matches, again in a triple threat, because whatever reason, But, yeah, it is what it is, But someday I'm going to get my chance on that title.
And we know the Dynasty is not promoting any shows for the rest of the year, but they'll be back next year. Has there been an official challenge for the title thrown out there?
I haven't heard anything yet, but as soon as I find out details, I'm sure people will know about that.
And your next match coming up is on October 27th in Ludlow, Massachusetts. Do you know who you're going to be facing there yet?
I don't know who I'm going to be facing, but whoever it is, and I already wrestled Massachusetts a few times. I already wrestled for Battlefront since the beginning of the company. And I have wrestled men, I have wrestled women. I don't care who my opponent is. I just hope that they're prepared because I'm going to do whatever I can to win my match.
So you started your career as Pedro Gonzalez, and now you've transitioned into PJ the Whip Gonzalez. How has that journey been for you?
It's been a long and an interesting journey, especially because I used my real name in wrestling back when I moved from Puerto Rico. My name in Puerto Rico was different. I never used my name because I was concerned that people would know who I was, and I didn't want my family to know that I was doing wrestling in Puerto Rico. Um, but when I moved to mainland United States from Puerto Rico, this was around 2004. Um, I decided to start using my name because it was a way of getting cheap heat and like being Puerto Rican, so my accent um, was a way of getting the fans irate because I could also make them angry at me by just speaking Spanish, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I began using my name of my previous name, my name at the time. Um, then in 2007, I came out to my friends in wrestling, and they were like cool. And then I backed down for a little bit, and then back when I returned back in 2016, I was using the Whip Mistress name, but then I was trying to find out a different way of not being too much into the BDSM thing because I feel like that is overdone by too many people. So I decided to ask a friend of mine what could be a good name, and he suggested the name of PJ the Whip Gonzalez, and I like it, so I began using that, and now I'm PJ the Whip Gonzalez, and for a very good reason. I can carry my bull whips to the ring and all that kind of stuff.
So you a part of that journey is also that you were transitioning from a male to a female, correct?
Yes.
And how has that experience been for you in the wrestling world?
It's interesting because when I was about to come out, I was scared of not being able to do wrestling anymore, and also I was scared of people that were in the business at the time rejecting me and not wanting to do anything with me at all anymore. Though I have found people that are totally accepting and very supportive when they find out. There are also been people that have not been too accepting, or they are accepting to an extent, but they still kind of feel a little bit concerned about me. But so far I've been doing okay personally, and to be honest, I'm just glad that I'm getting the opportunities that I've been getting lately to continue doing wrestling, because I thought my career was over at one point, so I decided to transition, and I'm just glad that it's begin to get a little by little, begin to pick up more. I'm beginning to pick up more opportunities like Dynasty, and also Battlefront Pro Wrestling in Massachusetts. And but I was scared. I was scared of coming out, and I was afraid of that I was never going to get into a wrestling ring ever again, and that did not happen. And I was also surprising that my friends at the time in the wrestling business, they were supportive. They were even more supportive than people that I was dealing with at my day job. And to me, that took me a little bit surprised. But I don't know. I don't know if it's because of the nature of the business that we're already seen as outcasts and seen as being different. That some people are a little bit more accepting than regular people that just are not part of the business.
When did you decide that you were gonna to transition? When did you come to that decision?
It was. This doesn't happen from one day to another. It's I knew I was transgender from an early age, and I was thinking about transition back when I was in high school. But I was living in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is it was tough to be there because people are very religious. People have very different views about about LGBT